Retrieval, the most data-hungry step. Every time someone opens Instagram and thumbs past an ad, there is a window of about 200 milliseconds where Meta decides whose ad to show. And in that sliver of time, tens of millions of ads are fighting for that one impression. The first cut is called retrieval. It is the heaviest, most data-hungry stage of the whole process because the system has to take that ocean of ads and figure out which ones are even in the right ballpark for this person. Here's the thing. This is where the idea that your creative is your targeting comes from. During retrieval, Meta reads your creative to decide who sees it. Your hook, your format, the people on screen, your copy, your thumbnail. It even crawls your landing page. If your ad features a woman in her 50s, the system skews delivery toward older women. And the scale is hard to picture. Media buyers who have pulled this apart describe retrieval narrowing tens of millions of ads down to a few thousand candidates before ranking even starts. This is why the old playbook of stacking interests and lookalikes quietly stopped working. You are not really choosing the audience anymore. The system reads the ad and chooses for you. So the lever that used to live in your ad set settings now lives in your creative. Change the hook, and you change who gets retrieved. Change the format, and you change the pool. The buyers winning right now stopped micromanaging audiences. They pour that energy into making more and more distinct creative. Because at the retrieval stage, the creative is the input that decides everything downstream. The Andromeda update, why your creative became your targeting. So why did retrieval suddenly matter this much? One word, Andromeda. In December of 2024, Meta rebuilt its retrieval engine and named it Andromeda. And every media buyer felt it, whether they read the announcement or not. On paper, it was new machine learning running on NVIDIA's Grace Hopper superchip. In the account, it showed up as something simpler and more brutal. The old way of winning, slicing audiences into tighter and tighter segments, stopped working. There was a practical reason for the rebuild. AI had flooded the platform with more creative than the old system could sort through, and it was choking. Andromeda let Meta match ads to people off the creative itself. Not this person likes shoes, but this person clicks red flip-flops for the beach. And here is where Meta's story and the media buyer's story split. Meta talks about recall gains and ad quality lifts, clean percentages on a slide. What buyers actually lived through was messier and far more useful. Micro-segmentation died. Broad targeting started beating tight interest stacks. Little audience segments stopped holding budget. Campaigns got more volatile day to day, but often better across a full week. The through line was always the same. The who mattered less, and the what mattered more. That is the real meaning behind creative is the targeting. It is not a slogan from a Meta blog. It is what buyers watched happen when they fed the system more distinct creative and let broad do the rest. Light ranking and heavy ranking narrowing the field. After retrieval, you are down from tens of millions of ads to a few thousand. Now the field gets cut twice more. First comes light ranking. This step barely needs a description, and that is the point. It is a fast, cheap pass that takes those thousands and trims them to hundreds. A quick filter, not a deep evaluation. Then comes heavy ranking. And this is where it gets serious. Heavy ranking takes those few hundred survivors and does the real math. This is the stage where competitors actually start to matter. Not tens of millions of them, a handful. Because by now, the pool is narrowed to ads that are genuinely relevant to this one person. And heavy ranking is where the famous equation kicks in. This is where every remaining ad gets a specific value score, and they all get lined up. The ad with the higher score earns the impression. The lower one loses it, or gets served a worse one. So, everything you have ever heard about relevance, about click-through rate, about not annoying users, it all gets cashed out right here as a single number. Retrieval decides if you are even in the room. Light ranking decides if you get a seat. Heavy ranking decides if you are actually a contender. And it decides it with a formula. Once you understand what feeds that score, the platform stops feeling random. It starts feeling like a game with rules you can play. The total value equation, the formula that decides everything. Here is the equation, the one Meta actually published and then quietly pulled from its own docs. Total value equals your bid times your estimated action rate plus a user value score. Whatever ad produces the highest total value wins. And the key thing is this: the highest bidder does not automatically win. A cheaper ad with better predicted engagement can beat a richer competitor. Your bid is what you are willing to pay for the result. Your estimated action rate is the prediction of how likely this person is to do the thing you care about. For a conversion campaign, that splits into your estimated click-through rate times your estimated click to conversion rate. So in plain English, to win, you need to be willing to pay. You need a creative that gets clicked, and you need those clicks to convert. And the way to play it is not a secret. The system has always loved a high click-through rate because a click is the cleanest signal that your ad is relevant. Reward that over time, and your costs drop. Lower cost to advertise, lower cost per thousand views, better traffic. The smart way to see the first half of the equation is as a stack of all your soft metrics. Click-through rate, sure, but also cost per click, hook rate, hold rate, cost per 3-second video view, everything tied to earning the click. The second half is how well you turn a click into a customer. And that last piece, the user value score, is Meta protecting itself, refusing to let aggressive advertisers wreck the feed for everyone scrolling. If you're getting value out of this breakdown, take a second to subscribe and hit the bell. There's a lot more where this came from. Let's keep going. The auction. Lowest cost versus bid caps. Now you reach the final step, the auction. All the advertisers still standing after heavy ranking, competing for that one impression, each scored through the total value equation. Highest total value takes it. And how you bid decides how you show up. Most people are running what is called lowest cost or automatic bidding. That means Meta bids for you, chasing the most results it can get for your budget. Simple, hands-off, and it works. But there are manual options too. A cost cap sets the most you will pay on average to get a customer. A bid cap sets a hard ceiling on each bid, and there is a whole cottage industry obsessing over which manual bidding trick is best this month. Here's the thing about all that obsessing. It matters far less than people think. There are accounts spending 5 figures a day, some 6 figures a day, running entirely on plain lowest cost. Profitable, clean, no manual bidding at all. And there are other great accounts running nothing but bid caps. Both ends work. So the honest answer is not use this one strategy. It is use the one that solves the actual constraint in your business. Need a hard ceiling on cost per acquisition? A cost cap. Need raw volume and can stomach the swings? Lowest cost. The mistake is thinking a bidding setting will carry a weak offer or weak creative. It will not. Bidding is a lever, not a magic wand. The learning phase, the phase that never really ends. Every time you launch a new ad set or make a big change, Meta drops it into what it calls the learning phase. The official line goes like this. The system does not have enough data yet, so it explores, gathering signal until it figures out your customer. The guidance says an ad set needs roughly 50 conversions a week to exit learning and stabilize. Miss that, and you can sit in learning limited forever. Now here is the reality check media buyers will give you. Your ads never actually stop learning. There is no magic moment where an ad set graduates and stays perfect. Everything decays. So obsessing over the learning phase, treating it like a boss to beat, is mostly wasted energy. Sometimes the real fix is just better creative. The part that trips people up most is spend. If you are running $50 a day, or a few hundred, even up to $1,000 a day, and your results look like a sine wave, up and down and up again, that is normal. That is the game. People spending far more than $1,000 a day still ride those swings. Meta is a moody platform run by an auction full of emotional humans. So here's the move. When in doubt, zoom out. Do not judge a campaign on today versus yesterday. Look at 7 days. Look at 14. Look at the largest window of data you have and make your call there. That one habit kills the panicked "I was profitable yesterday" spiral. At low spend, inconsistency is not a bug, it is the weather. Signal quality and the Conversions API, the iOS 14 fallout. Meta can only optimize as well as the data you feed it. That is the whole idea behind signal quality. The better the conversion data you send back, the more it can supposedly learn about your buyers and cheapen your ads over time. There is even a score for it. Go into Events Manager, click your purchase event, and you will find event match quality rated on a scale up to 10. It measures how well Meta can match the events you send to real people. The main way you push it up is the Conversions API, which sends your data server side, not just from the browser. And this became a big deal for one reason: Apple. Apple shipped iOS 14 in 2020, but the change that broke everything, app tracking transparency, was not enforced until the spring of 2021 with iOS 14.5. That prompt let users opt out of tracking, and most did. Reported opt-out rates in the United States ran north of 80 or 90%. Overnight, the browser pixel went half blind, and reporting turned into guesswork. That is why server-side tracking through the Conversions API matters. It pushes events straight from your server, past the browser restrictions. Now the honest part, the part Meta will not lead with. Buyers who have chased this will tell you it is easy to overrate. A high match quality score does not mean profitable ads, and a low one does not doom you. There are accounts with near-perfect signal that still struggle, and mediocre scores that print money. So send Meta clean data, but take every conversion number it reports with a grain of salt, which is why serious buyers lean on outside attribution, creative diversity, new concepts versus variations. When Andromeda landed, a strange narrative spread. People said you had to pick a side, either test brand new concepts or test variations of what already works, but not both. And the loud advice became just pump out new concepts, forget variations. That is wrong. Variations are still incredibly effective. Here is what actually changed. Andromeda got much stricter about creative similarity. Behind the scenes, it clusters ads that look and sound alike, and a cluster of nearly identical ads can end up sharing a single ticket into the auction. So 50 tiny edits of the same ad no longer buy you 50 real shots. The lesson buyers took was not stop making variations, it is make variations that are actually different. And that pays off in a way most people miss. Picture one concept tested with 3 very different hooks. It turns out the winner is not the original idea at all. It is the third hook, the variation. If you had bought the variations or useless narrative, you would have killed that concept as a loser and never found the version that worked. The best practice among buyers reflects this. Instead of near duplicates, they build libraries of 8 to 15 genuinely distinct concepts per product, testing angles instead of edits. Social proof, founder story, comparison, testimonial, demo. Because in an Andromeda world, creative variety is not decoration. It is the fuel the system runs on. Feed it sameness, and your performance shrinks. Feed it variety, and you give the machine room to win.